Most high ticket sales reps have no idea how the business actually runs outside of just doing their role. You take the calls on your calendar, you close who closes, there's more tomorrow, you do your follow-ups, and that's it. But if you ever actually want to level up in this game, you need to understand how leads come in, why the appointment cost and the economics actually make sense, and how the back-end sales operations should actually look. Because all of these things let you find the little hidden bottlenecks inside the business you're working for. And the reason I was able to make so much money was because I always had leverage. Me knowing these things, learning them over time, is what pretty much let me negotiate higher commissions and better terms for the offers I work for. So in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on my full operating system, all the way from the front end to the back end, how the funnel works, how the appointments come in, the back end email and automation sequences, how I built my pipeline and my disposition system, the back end tracking, all of it. This is going to teach you how the business actually works. So number one, if you want to be a high level operator, you can understand it at a high level. But number two, you can actually bring more of an asset to the organization you work for and be the guy that says, hey, we need to add shit like this. If you're new, welcome. All we talk about in this channel is how to hit those $1,000 days in high ticket sales. No income claims, just putting you on serious game per usual. Once again, if you're new here, I'd run back a few videos after this one and make sure to drop a sub. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, welcome back. Now let's get into the video. Really want to go through how the funnel works on the front end, show you guys a little bit like in the middle, and then also show you on the back end how it works in like the sales ops. I think it'd be really cool for you guys to like really understand how I've mapped out my organization. And if you don't have this in the organization that you're selling for, or just in general, you can bring this value to them. So like you can be like, oh, now that I've seen this, I know that this is kind of like how it should look. By the way, I've been building sales ops systems for like 2 years. So I've tried to make things always as simple as possible to kind of follow. Without like, because it can get very, very, very complicated. And this is like, I never knew any of this shit when I was closing. So I hope that this is valuable to you guys from a training standpoint. Let me pull up, there's two other things I want to pull up. Let me pull up this form and that form. So what I'm going to show you guys is setter call forms, closer call forms, what they do and what they're for, as well as, so like my objective when I did this is I was like, how can I build everything in GoHighLevel? Like everything. And everybody has all these different systems and they're very clunky. And it's just like, I was like, that I just want to make something that's like super simple that I can license into like all my management offers, etc. So let me show you. So you guys probably are familiar with this right here. All right, maybe for some of you guys in here, you came through a webinar or something like that, but you guys know like what a funnel is, right? So you have like the funnel, then here was like the application that you guys applied for, or if you're on a webinar, it was kind of similar to this. Everybody kind of remember something like this to some degree? I don't think you guys are brain dead. I think most of you guys in here are pretty smart. But the point I'm getting at is once you opt in through here, realistically what happens from a sales ops standpoint is and you can see this window when I'm switching windows and stuff.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, cool. Realistically, with Typeform is this right here. So there used to be GoHighLevel forms, but the good thing about Typeform is Typeform integrates with Calendly. So what you'll see is like if you're filling out all this information and you're putting all your info in here and stuff like that, at the end there will be a calendar that's already embedded in the form. Most of you guys probably remember that. The good thing with that is for appointments automatically getting booked, it decreases the drop off by like 30%. Because most of the time, if you just have a form and then you take them to another page and then there's like a booking page, you'll have like a 50% drop off. So just by embedding that calendar in there, we save drop off by like 30%, which is really good. If I look at my ads manager and show you how much I'm paying for an appointment, I'm only paying like $65 for an appointment right now, which in my niche, like 120 to 150 is still good. So I'm like half of KPI. So that means my marketing is working really well. Now, granted, every time I onboard one of y'all and ask you a question about where you found me or why you bought from me, a lot of y'all, I would say like over 80% say, I saw a piece of organic content. I've seen you, you're all over my feed, blah, 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 blah. Then I took action, right? So granted, the organic is probably really, really, really helping my cost per appointment. Like it's probably the only reason why I'm getting half of what everybody else in the market is getting. Just to give you guys some context. And by no means am I a content expert. I'm just really good at yapping. Okay, so what will happen is essentially there's two situations that can realistically happen, right? Situation one is they go through the application, and right when it gets to the financial question, they say F this and they drop off, or they fill out how much money they're willing to invest. A lot of people like this say F this and they drop off. All right. So you can see like these are all people that dropped off that did like not book an appointment this week. Right. So there's a whole bunch of opportunities that we're still grabbing. And you'll see like my setter will go out. For example, this person said 0 to 3 and then 0 to 1 can't invest. And then they dropped off. And then Tim still hit him and he's like not looking to invest anything. And she said she can't afford anything DQ. Right. So what we're doing is we're still able to pull some calls, called and sent text, no answer in text, looking to transition to high ticket sales, only PT and not looking to invest in anything, biz op, marketing background, 1 year. So it's like, there's a lot of effort that goes into the drop-offs, right? But there are a lot of times that we pull deals from this. Like if I go and back and I attribute at the end of the month, and I'm going to get to the pipeline here in a second. If I go back and I attribute to close calls, and my pipeline's a little sloppy right now, I'm still tightening it up. So there's Gilsey right here, right? We can see where they came from with these tags. Did they auto book? Did they drop off? So you'll notice a lot of times we have people who we close that you can even come down here and it's like, this is a manual book. So this is somebody that we closed that dropped off, that said they didn't have any money to invest, that my setting team went outbound, picked them up off the drop off, booked in an appointment, and then we closed them. So it's really important to know this type of stuff from like a marketing perspective, because you want to know like at the end of every month, out of the 20 people that we closed this month, where did they come from? Because if I'm noticing 19 out of the 20 came from Autobook, but we have a whole setting division that's going outbound and trying to generate conversations and we're not making any money from that, it'd be really valuable to know that. Because then I would just know from a business owner standpoint, like this shit ain't working. Like, why do I have 3 setters going outbound, wasting dials? Because maybe we pull in 1 extra deal a month. That's not enough. So I would just say that this isn't working. But when I go back and I look at the end of the month and I notice half of our deals come from drop-offs, and then I see big marketers in the space that talk about, oh, you should never call drop-offs. They're not qualified. I'm like, all right, bro. You're just not good at sales. Let's just call it for what it is. A lot of these guys out here are just not good at sales. And my standards are like really fucking high. So if they do book a call immediately from the application, they'll go into this channel. So there's 2 channels. There's the drop-offs and then there's the demo booked, right? So like this person in here booked a call with Domina today. We didn't really have much calendar space because Domina was off. So I actually had to go and manually book this for her. But like yesterday we had 1, 2, 3, 4 bookings. Thursday we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bookings. I'm only spending a couple $100 a day in ads. Like right now in my company right now, I'm not even pushing it because I have like management clients and I have a lot of like B2B business I'm doing. Right now on the month, I think we're at like 45,000 on my offer. And I've spent 3,000 in ads, which is crazy because I'm going to bump that to 1,000 a day and I'm only spending 200. So if the economics hold, even if my ROAS gets cut in half and I go from a 10x, which it probably will, to a 5x, it doesn't really matter because if I spend 1,000 a day and I spend 30 grand in a month, that means I'll make $150,000 in a month. I'm just showing you guys this because a lot of the people in my community are entrepreneurs. This is how my structure looks. So first thing, they opt in, right? They get hit with one of these automations, either the appointment book one or the Typeform drop-off one. And the only difference in the messaging is if they're a drop-off, I'll say something along the lines of like, hey, Ferran, saw you opted in, but you didn't end up booking an appointment. Were you looking for more info? The appointment booked one will be, hey, we have your appointment booked, confirmation, etc. And then I do this thing like to hammer them. So I don't know if any of you guys saw the emails because a lot of times they do go to spam, but I hammer the absolute shit out of people with emails because most of the time sales calls are like 1 day, if not 2 days out. And so when you book in, I wait 2 minutes, first email, wait an hour and a half, second email, wait 8 hours, third email, wait 8 more hours, fourth email, like 2 hours and then 6 hours. Like I am hammering you with value dense emails on why I'm different, you know, lead flow, commission structures, all this different shit. I don't know if you guys read the emails, but there are some people that read every email. So what this is doing is it's reducing your sales cycle. Solomon, I saw your hand up. What's up?
I'll keep it towards the end. I'll just note down a question about the emails.
What's up?
I'll keep it towards the end just so you can keep going, but it's a question about the emails.
Go ahead.
Um, well, to your point, I don't know if a lot of people do read these emails, and personally feel I want your opinion that they might be a deterrent to actually the email that I want the person to see, like to opt in or confirm their appointment if I'm hammering people with like 6, 7 emails. How do you
Yep.
feel about that?
So I picked this up from a really high level guy named Jeremy Haynes. You can watch him on YouTube. This has like drastically reduced our sales cycle because the premise of like where my mindset goes, like I get hammered by like Cole Gordon, Jason Wojo, like they still send me emails to this day. And like if you don't value the emails, you just usually don't read them. And with the deliverability, especially through high level, a lot of emails don't even really get delivered. So doesn't really cost me much, doesn't really matter. But if somebody can open up this email right here and explains my story, and they feel like I've had people that have literally text messaged after getting this email, and they're like, "Holy shit, I didn't know that we had such a similar story. Looking forward to the call," and then they go piff.
Okay.
So I personally do it. I think in like more like B2B sophisticated niches, hammering them with more like value dense concepts of like here's how we saved, like here's our financial model on this, here's how this works, and like actually delivering value. Because I'm not just hammering them with like bullshit emails. I'm not just sending them like stupid shit that's just like a little like, what's up, just want to give you this awesome reminder once again for the 19th time. Like these are like actually like valuable things that you would read and you'd be like, wow, like that was a little golden nugget. Like I liked that. And so the concept of what I have is like if someone just doesn't read emails, they just want to open it. But if they do read emails, like these shouldn't bother them too much because like every time they open it, they are getting a golden nugget. Like I'm not
Okay.
trying to push them to a book call. Like there's a difference between like cold emailing somebody and sending them like a bunch of emails that they didn't ask for versus like giving somebody a golden nugget that they're like, huh, like that was pretty valuable. And what I'm even doing is I'm actually even making a long-term drip campaign based on my content and the videos that have gone viral. Like that SMS video that I made, that would be a really good video to turn into an email and put that in like a long-term drip campaign and like actually deliver value instead of like being like one of those guys that says like, oh, I'm going to deliver value and then tries to push you to a sales call, like actually delivering real value. So that's my concept on it. That kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Then from there, guys, so once again, funnel, they go through one of these automations. Regardless, they're going to get hit with the emails, right? It's super simple. Either this channel or this channel. I tell my sales team to tag it with check if we connected or tag it with X if we did not connect with it. Super simple. And then from there, we have our pipeline. So the way that I stage the pipeline, just to kind of give you guys some concept, and I'll probably look at it from this view, just because for information purposes, I don't want to like give everybody's information away, like especially this is being recorded, so I'll probably have to blur some stuff out. I'll just keep it like this. All right, so without like I see some salespeople and they're like, oh, I don't want to overcomplicate the pipeline. That's retarded. It's really stupid because there's a lot of different pipeline stages, and these things will tell you where people are at in terms of the money. And a lot of people are like, oh, I have like 5 pipeline stages. I'm like, how the fuck do you know anything about anybody in your pipeline? If you have 5 pipeline stages and you have thousands of leads in your CRM, you're like really cooked. Like, wouldn't it be nice to know, Grayson, all of the leads that we lost that we didn't book a follow-up with versus like all the people that showed up to a call, but we didn't even get to the pitch? Because if we didn't pitch these people, and they go cold in the pipeline and we call them and our last notes are like, oh yeah, they talked with Grayson on this date, I'm going to call them up and like, I'm going to have no context of what happened versus if I'm a closer and I'm getting 8 calls a day and I notice that, damn, I had this call, no show that no pitch, and I don't have another meeting booked on the calendar with this person. I need to do this before I clock out today. And like, you don't think about this at a high level until you're actually having like a lot of calls booked on your calendar in one day. But like when you're getting really booked out and you're making 4 to 5 new offers a day, you start to really lose track. And you would think that you talked to Solomon yesterday, but then like you look in the pipeline, you're like, holy, it's been 3 days since we've talked. Like I haven't sent him a text message. I haven't called him one time. I haven't done anything. Like you just forget. Like, dude, you just miss it because you're on calls. You wake up, you're back to back all day. You have no shows. Then all of a sudden somebody texts you. Then you got to eat lunch and like you're just like your time management. You just lose it. And then all of a sudden that person that you talked to, yesterday morning, all of a sudden it's tonight at night, and you almost had 2 days of no contact at this point, and you don't realize it because you're like in your mind you're like, oh, I talked to him yesterday, but it's like not really. You talked to him like 37 hours ago. And then tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be like 50 hours ago. And you'll be like, oh shit. This person's like 3 days with no contact after you got a sales call. Then they're probably fucking cold at that point. And so the point I'm trying to make is having these pipeline stages of the partial submit coming in, right? Having the meeting being booked here. This is like if they drop off, and this is if they book a call. Everything that comes after those two actions are all dispositions. So what we used to do up until this point was this was a manual process. And a shitty manual process that it was. Now what I've created is I've created disposition forms for SDRs and closers, right? And so essentially what this does is this is all for tracking purposes. This really isn't for pipeline segmentation, but it's for tracking purposes. And I know for some new people in here that are watching this, they're probably like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Don't worry. It's okay. This is like, this is just offer ownership. But I'm just showing you guys from the top down how like it all kind of connects, because it's really valuable to know. So like there's a difference between triage complete, set or callback, and cancellation call. If somebody clicks triage complete or triage call change time, I want to know this. Because if I'm an offer owner, and let's say Grayson books a call for tomorrow at 2 p.m. and I call Grayson and I mark him as triage complete, but Grayson on the call says, oh, actually that 2 p.m. slot that I booked him for tomorrow, something actually came up. Can we reschedule that till 3? If I mark this as triage complete and I go book an additional call in the CRM, it's going to fuck the data up. It's going to skew the data. It's going to look like an additional call was booked. And then from a tracking standpoint, like if I'm looking at something like this, like a dashboard, I haven't connected this yet, but if I'm looking, Grayson, you remember this? If I'm looking at like from a tracking standpoint, it's going to show me that I have like an inflation in my calls booked, which will show like, oh yeah, we're getting really cheap cost per call when like we're really not. Like we're actually inflating that number. And so you don't think it's a big deal until you start making really bold plays and you start wondering like, why are we getting really cheap appointments, but like we're bleeding cash on our marketing? It's because tracking isn't done right. This is like the highest level thing outside of sales that you guys are going to learn from me, because I'm really good at sales, but I'm also really good at sales operations. Not to toot any horns or anything, but like I actually enjoy sales operations. I don't like really enjoy like actually building the automation, so to say, but I enjoy like the process and making the workflow happen. So if Grayson wanted to change his call time, I would book this in, and then I would go into a calendar that didn't log an additional booking, and I would book him in that calendar. That calendar, once again, doesn't send any additional information, doesn't send any additional emails, doesn't start the hammer them campaign again, doesn't do anything. All it does is it just says it cancels his other appointment, and it gives them automations for these, and it doesn't even track that, because I still want it to count as the same call. That's like, it's such a small thing, but it's drastic to the data at the end of the month. Then you have setter callback, right? If we pop over here to the pipeline, this is the first stage. So basically Grayson books a call. I try to call him within 5 minutes. And the way that I look at that is I can actually see my speed to lead because I have an automation for it. So I can see that this guy on the first of this month at 1:23 booked a call, right? He booked a call for the day after that at 6 p.m. So it was 1:23 on the first, and he said, tomorrow I want to talk to him at 6 p.m. Well, you can see we contacted this person at 1:26. Speed to lead, right? We booked a call with him, but this is with my old closer that's no longer on my team. What happened? What happened? The last I know is he has a book call. We hit him in 3 minutes. We triaged him. That's all I know. What happened? Where is this guy? Did he not have money? I mean, what did his application say? Said he can invest money. Cold. Gone. This is just one of the thousands of opportunities in my pipeline that are probably have money. So what I'm trying to show you guys here is there is so much money in the pipeline. Like this person right here, triage complete. What happened? Where are they? 700 credit score, 1K to invest. We have payment plans. We have payment plans that let people in for as low as $300, $400, $500 a month. So you're trying to tell me that this guy couldn't invest $500 to get started and then $500 next month, and by that time he wouldn't have been able to make at least a couple grand with me? Bullshit. Bullshit. He could have. And we let this guy go cold. And the reason why I'm showing you this, because this irritates the fuck out of me. It irritates the living fuck out of me. Because when people say, oh, it's the leads, oh, it's that, and they blame everything. No, it's not. Because that person, we could have changed that person's life. That person was making no money. That person, like that's the way I look at sales, guys. My program and my product is the best on this market. You don't want to believe me? Ask Grayson. Grayson's invested in other coaching programs. There's a lot of people in here that have invested in other coaching programs. I've seen other coaching programs. They don't even have a fraction of what we have here. They don't. I don't say that to be egotistical. I'm being honest with you. And so when I see that we're losing money because we're just not filling out forms, we're not doing the right shit, and we're sitting here saying, we need to increase lead quality. I'm like, go f yourself. We don't need to increase anything. You need to increase effort. Okay? And the point I'm getting at is all that now is tracked with this. So set or callback. This is just like trying to call that guy 3 minutes after he booked in. Couldn't talk right now. He'd moved to set or callback. Once we can get the triage complete, they go there. And this is the setter's actions right here. Realistically, this is it. And calling did not continues. Everything after this, closer. No show, canceled, rescheduled, call show, no pitch. Lost the call, follow-up book. Lost the call, no follow-up book. Took a deposit, closed the deal. That's it. Or a closer and a setter can either mark somebody as DQ or DNC. Because DNC and DQ, people ask me, Blake, what's the difference between disqualified and did not continue? Disqualified is I triaged this guy. He told me he wasn't willing to invest. He told me to get fucked, and he hung up the phone on me. That's DQ. DNC is somebody that's been sitting in this lost follow-up no booked for 7 days, and there's an automation that moves them over to DNC. And it kind of just says, I don't know what happened here. So the point I'm getting at is there's a lot of money in segmenting these two things, DNC versus DQ. Because there's a lot of people in the pipeline that have just been, I guarantee if you guys go look at your pipeline right now, there's a bunch of just like old leads sitting in there. And you're like, I have no idea what happened with these leads. This is how we solve that problem now, is with these disposition forms. Marking them and tagging them, and this is what the closer one looks like. Same exact shit. And we have a bunch of questions because regardless of what we click right here, it'll change. If we click this, this will change. If we click this, this will change. If we click this, this will change. All these things change based on the outcomes. And what that ends up doing is it goes into an automation like this. I know I'm showing you guys a lot of shit here, but what this does is when somebody on my team fills out the setter form or the closer form, it'll either go into my setter post-call submission or my closer post-call submission, which I need to undraft right now because I was editing it. Same stuff, but this is how we route it. So for a setter, what happens is it webhooks out. So just for y'all's clarity and for the new people in here, what is a webhook? I'm probably talking Chinese to you at this point, and you probably want to watch this back. You don't need to know this. This is like high level shit. This isn't even like sales shit. This is like operations. But a webhook is essentially you mapping data from one software to another. So you see this crazy thing right here? This is what happens when somebody fills out the form. So regardless of the condition, no show, call showed, no pitch, won, lost, follow-up book, deposit, cancel call, all those conditions that I showed you guys a second ago, it'll go into all the different channels that I've created in Slack to let us know and give us alerts and updates. Like I built this one out. It was a reschedule canceled, right? And it lets us know the reason of why. And so not only is it tracking this for us, because that's what this automation does, it sends it to Slack, but then it also goes into this Google Sheet right here and it updates this column and it updates their appointment time. So this guy, by the way, guys, this is like $500K a month plus operation. I've just done this before, even though my offer's not even doing that number right, like those numbers right now. I just know what it looks like. And so just wanted to give you guys some clarity on like when you fill out the form, this is kind of where it goes through, where it'll move them in the pipeline. It'll add them as a tag. It'll add those notes that you had from this form right here into their notes tab. And then we'll just update the contact field of like where they're at in the pipeline. Like this little field right here, it says lead status. It'll update that lead status. And that, guys, kind of from like A to Z is like how it all works from lead in like this, goes into these first couple channels. Then based on whatever happens in the pipeline, right, whatever we fill out on this disposition form, it'll move them around in these stages in the pipeline by going through these type of automations right here. And this is as simple as it gets. Like I know it looks very complicated, but really it's just like fill out form, use this webhook right here to send this data to the Google Sheets, and then it routes it based on condition. It just says, hey, if they clicked this button up here, close their call result was one of these, close their call result was one of these, then go this direction. It just routes them. Hey, if they clicked canceled, route here. Put them in the cancel stage in the pipeline, add a tag, cancel call. That's it. And that is just how you keep your pipeline super clean. And on the contrary, on the back end of it, now if I go into like contacts tabs, I haven't added the tags for it, but like I'm about to go add them today because this is like I was souping this up for myself before I showed you guys. But like, let's say I go right here to this person that just opted in. Well, if I'm a closer and I'm thinking from an efficient standpoint of like, where can I go where the people have the most money? It's like, what if I went to people that were DNC, right? Like, what if I went to the contacts tab? I went to refresh it. I went to something like filters, right? And then I typed in tag is DNC. Oh, shit. Oh, I don't have the tag. Oh, let me just do pipeline stage for now because I don't have the tag. Pipeline, opportunity pipeline, actually opportunity pipeline, opportunity stage is sales pipeline, stage is DNC, right? So I can add this. I haven't moved everybody over there yet, but I'm just showing you guys for an example. So this would probably be way more than what you're looking at right now. And then from there, I could even go and add another filter and say maybe something like last activity is this month. And take this would basically mean who's in the DNC pipeline that we haven't talked to. Like we have a decent amount of people in here. Like who have you had last activity from in the last month that we've already like gotten past the initial stage that just kind of like disappeared. And so what I would do from here is I'd click all these numbers, I click all these contacts, and I go into something like send SMS, and I just say something like, hey, custom field contact first name, comma, it's just Blake over here at ST6. Like I saw we last spoke on, come up here. It's just like, I don't know if we can do that. Like last activity, it would just be like, what I would do is I would go appointment. Trying to remember where it would be. What I would do is I would probably say something like setter. setter, custom field setter date filled. Because this would be like the first time that we contacted this lead. Like this is the first time that we filled out a form on this lead. Saw we last spoke on this date, ... Like saw we last spoke on this date. Like what ended up happening? That's it. Hey, Solomon, it's just Blake over here at SC6. I saw we last spoke on, February 17th. Like what ended up happening? Like, did you end up moving forward with someone else or getting XYZ? Like whatever it might be. Now, if you wanted to, like, if you really wanted to just like, that would just be something if you had, the reason I'm showing that, if you guys had like thousands of leads in there, I'd probably do something like that. But if it's like 20 leads, I would just rip this. Like I would just come in here and just start dialing these people. And I would just come in here. I don't know if we have notes on this person because I don't know if I had the automation at the time. But yeah, it's like right here. Okay, finances. EQ finances. Skeptical lead had been scammed in the past, so not interested in investing in anything. So she thinks everything is a scam now and requires you to pay something. Cool. So this was obviously like right here. But I would just call this person up and I'd be like, yo, Shannon? Yeah. Hey, Shannon, it's just Blake over here at Sales Team 6. Hey, I saw that we spoke last, or you spoke with Tim on the 18th of April. And I saw your thing over here. You said the biggest thing you were kind of looking at help with was getting on a good offer, but you were kind of struggling to land on one. I did see in Tim's notes, it said that you'd kind of been scammed a little in the past. So you weren't really open to kind of investing anything, right? And I get it. But I just wanted to kind of shoot you over a call and see, like, what are you doing right now then? Like, what's the game plan? Like, keep your credit card in your pocket. No worries here. Like, what are you doing though? Friend to friend, what are you up to? Like, are you just, and they're going to be like, what do you mean what am I up to? I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Like you said you were struggling and getting on a good offer. You said you've been scammed in the past, that you don't trust anybody. So what's the game plan? What are you doing? Oh, how's that going? Well, tell me a little bit more about that. Well, do you think that that's the most efficient strategy? Why or why not? What have the results been like? Do you think that that's the best thing to put you in the best position to get on a better offer? Well, I don't know, because you just told me you sent 30 DMs and you've been sending 30 DMs a day and you haven't gotten any responses. So what's the strategy from here? If it's not working, what's the next strategy? Oh, you don't know? Okay, well, it looks to me like you have two options. Either option A, you get external help from somebody, or option B, you keep doing what you're doing, but it's not working. So let's talk about option A. Why are you so against having somebody that has help? Is there any trust assets I can send over your way? Is there anything you need to see? Like, I have people that would love to have a conversation with you and tell you how great we are. We have a bunch of people that are successful. Do you want to talk to some people that aren't successful? Like, what are you searching for here? And by the way, guys, I'm absolutely not going to let them talk to somebody. Just to give you guys a heads up. I'm just going to say that. Like, yeah, do you need to talk to somebody that's in the program? Do you need to talk to somebody who's not in the program? Like, what is it that you're kind of looking for here? Like, start the combo. This is what I mean when I'm like, if you're not on a call, just go to a list like this and make it a little bit more targeted and go. But you're not able to make the list more targeted if things aren't tracked properly. That, my friends, is how I made a lot of money when I was a closer. I took the calls that were on my calendar, and then I just focused on all the low-hanging fruit around me when everybody else just focused on the calls on their calendar. I swear to God. And I would go pull that person on that call. I'd have a 30-minute conversation and go get that person for a $2,000 payment plan. Because they're one limiting belief away. Like I guarantee if I call that lead up right here and I had a conversation with her for 30 minutes, I'd be way more in the pocket than she is right now. Tim jumped on with her for a minute and a half. She probably was just like, yeah, I'm not interested in looking for anything. No, I'm all good. Yeah, bye. If I called her back and I was like, hey, like, I know you said you weren't interested. Is there anything I can send over your way just to kind of give you more confidence in the decision-making process? Like, obviously you're searching and you're seeking out somebody to help you. So, like, we have plenty of business right now. We're very happy with our clients. Like, we're not in any dire need, but like, if you were interested in working with us, like, I can send you over some stuff to like help you. Who the f is going to say no to that? And then they're like, oh, yeah. And you'll hear based on their tonality. Oh, yeah. Just go ahead and send it over to me. Yeah. Well, what is it that you want to see? Well, and they're not going to have an answer for you. It just means they're trying to blow you off. It's just like, look, man, like you're telling me to send you over some stuff to you, but you don't even know what you want to see. Like, transparently from me to you, if I send some stuff over to you and you don't even know what you want to see, you're not going to go read it. So, like, why are you telling me to send stuff over to you? And I just say that to people. I'm like, you're not going to read it. So, like, why are you bullshitting me? Like, that's the reason why I made so many sales, guys. It's because, like, I would get on the phone and I would talk to leads like they were my friends. Like, why are you bullshitting me? Why are you telling me to send you over material you're not going to watch? Why are you sending 30 DMs a day? Why? I just start challenging them. Why is that not working? What do you want to change? You'd be surprised how close people are to giving you their money if you would just try. They're really close. And I know this because Cole Gordon makes his team do this, and they increase their revenue by over 200% just by calling leads. They're right there, guys. Just for anybody that's not doing this, that's a closer or just a high-performing sales rep, they're right fucking there. You just got to go get it. That's really what I wanted to cover more than anything today. It's just keeping it really simple, not doing like an hour-and-a-half masterclass about getting in the weeds of it. It's just like front end, drop off, not drop off, segment the pipeline properly, and call the lead list that's closest to the money. And let the setters handle all like the other shit.
Blake, I don't know if this is the right platform to ask you for this, but I missed the first step. How do you link up the Typeform on the pipeline?
Yeah, good question. I'll show you. This is like the raw Typeform in here, and I can see all the results and shit like that. I can see how many people have viewed it, starts, submissions. And dude, even for me, like I could probably optimize all of this if I had a full-time marketer that was just like consistently optimizing, but I don't. And then what you'll do is we have two calendars, right? We have one that's for low quality leads that go directly to my setter, Tim. And it looks kind of like this. So first question, what can we help you with? Second question, what kind of describes you right now? If they say like I'm new to high ticket sales or I'm a current closer, you ask them like how much are you average with sales? If they say anything else, like, oh, I'm looking to break into high ticket sales, we ask them how much would you need to make a month to replace your current income? So really we're just trying to get a gauge on how much they make a month. But we do it in like a respectful way where we're not saying like, how much money do you make a month? We say like, how much money did you make last month with high ticket sales? If they tell me that they're in, and if they're not in, I'm like, well, then how much money would you need to make a month to replace that? So I ask them two different questions. Then it goes to capturing their info. And then I ask him one more question. I'm like, Blake and remote closers are selected who they work with. Tell us in a few sentences why you'd be a good fit. This is really good because people will like send a paragraph. Like they'll actually write the reason why they think they're a good fit. And right after they submit that, it goes straight into a partial submit where we get their info and we capture it, because right after that, we're asking them how much you got, how much can you invest? And we notice a lot of people that'll just drop off right here. So like, fuck that, they're coming from cold traffic, whatever. Then we go outbound and get them in our pipeline. But bro, these are leads that we can get in our pipeline that when I run a webinar on Wednesday, I can SMS blast all the drop-offs and say, hey, saw you dropped off and you never booked a call with my team. I'm going live. If you don't want to buy anything, just pull up to the webinar and I'm going to drop a bunch of game and you'll get to see me live. And then guess what? They all come to the webinar. We get 40 more people on the webinar. 38 of them tell me to go fuck myself, but we get 2 more sales just by capturing their info. And so that's another thing, by the way, Solomon. But then it goes after that, it goes, if they say that they have 0 to 1,000 to invest, which a lot of people lie, by the way, over 50% of people lie on this. I already know this. That's why I'm like, whatever. We ask them, we have some of the best buy now, pay later options for those who may need a payment plan to allow you to split it up. Like so we have some people on the call here today that decided that they wanted to go through a financing partner. It's totally fine. It's still the same ticket price. It's not like we made the price cheaper for you. You just went through a financing partner. So we'll have people that say, oh, 0 to 1,000. And then when they come here and they're like, well, I got 600 to 700 or 700 credit score. Like we are able to break that shit up. Like if we get you to Clarity Pay or Affirm, we can like actually still help this person. And I think like a lot of people fuck this up. Also, Solomon, I'm gonna say it out loud. Like people just like look at this and like, how can I squeeze more money out of people? I look at this and like, Dude, we've had like Grayson, for example, was somebody who like didn't have much money. And like he's a top performer. So like I look at this and like, dude, if they have over a 600 credit score and we can get them started, I genuinely do not give a they go through a financing partner and I have to eat higher fees. I don't care because I'm once again, there's no world where I'm going to make less than probably $50,000 for the rest of my life just because I have good management clients, good B2B, whatever. Like this for me, this is like I love doing this shit with you guys. I love getting on and showing you guys this because like this is the shit that's going to make you guys a high performing sales rep. So if I can get paid to do a passion, and so the point I'm getting at is a lot of people will try and like use this as like a manipulation tactic. Like I see some people that ask this as their first question, and their whole intent is just like, how can we get a bunch of broke people that need to buy into the dream that we can just finance? My mindset's like, bro, if they got like around $1,000 in their account, we could help them. Like if they like a lot of people are very against it. They're very against like taking out anything. But like we have some of the best buy now, pay later options where like it really doesn't impact your credit score. Like Solomon, I know you went through Split It.
Yeah,
And you
I
broke
did
your
split.
shit up. And that's
Yep.
awesome. Like I like, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, why not? Like, if you have the option, it doesn't like, why the not? Like, you literally are not really taking that much of a difference. Like, you maybe you pay $600 to $1,000 in additional interest over the course of what 12 months. That's like
Yeah.
$100 in interest, and you don't got to come out of pocket 5,800, 6,400, 7,200. We got another guy that we just brought in here, 12,000 for the one-on-one. That's what he paid. It's like he put that through financing because he didn't make that much last month. And like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I love this shit because it allows people to get it. So point I'm making is if they're just like very low intent by the grading system, right? Like they're saying 0 to 1,000 and they don't really have great credit. I'm gonna make anybody that says they don't have the money to go straight to my setter just to make sure my closers aren't really wasting time, because we'll get people that just like say they have no money and they have like bad credit, and then we still get on the phone with them and they're like, yeah, bro, I got $234 to my name. I'm like, all right, bro, like like me to you, dog. Like I'm not gonna take your last 234. I'm not even gonna try to make you finance it. Like I tell my setters, I'm like, bro, if somebody's that down bad, like we cannot help that person. Like we just cannot. Like there's a difference between having $800 to, $1,000 and you got a paycheck coming in and like you got like about a grand wiggle room. We can work with that through financing, but like there's no world where we can help somebody that has 200. They're going to give us like, we can't, number one, we don't have an option that they'll get approved for. Number two, even if they do get approved, we take every last penny from them, and then what? They just want to dispute or charge back because they're just like all fucked up. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to send them to my collections agency. So we're going to ruin their life and ruin their credit. I mean, I've had people that have just disputed me for no reason. Like we've done the deliverables. They've just told me to basically go myself. And then I send them over to collections and we have just buried their credit for the rest of their life. I've done it. I don't feel bad about it at all. You take money out of my pocket after I deliver a service for you, I will send you over to Ethan at DCI. I love Ethan. Ethan, if you're watching this, I love you. Thank you so much, because Ethan will call that person's phone 300 times in one day because they have 50 dialers and that's all they do all day. They just call your phone all day long. You have to get a new line. They'll just call you all day. They'll email you all day. They'll send letters to your home. They'll put liens on the property. Like what I'm getting at here, I'm going a little off the rocker, Solomon, on your question. But the point I'm getting at is like the reason why I formatted everything in this logic is if they're lower intent, they need to go to a setter, because the last thing I'm going to do is close somebody that's biz op that has no money that's going to refund. And these are like not really what closers should be kind of focused on. Closers should be focused on people that say they have at least 1,000 to 2,000 to invest, because the truth is most of them have way more. Everybody picks the lowest option. Nobody picks $4,000 plus to invest, even though they got it. They never say it. They're always basically what I'm asking them in this question right here, Solomon, is I'm asking them honestly two questions. We have a variety of different options to get started. Based on your budget, choose the best one. Basically, what I'm saying is, are you telling me to go myself, or are you telling me you're serious? That's what this means. I don't even look at these two. It's really this or this, because 80% of people click this, even if they have this. You see what I mean? It's just psychology. It's just the thought of it. And so that will go to a Calendly like this, where I have Demena and Katie. And then I have different priorities. I don't even know who's on priority right now. I think they're equal. Yeah, they're equal priority. So this just round robins them in the calendar, and that will then go into this calendar right here. But I don't even think we have calendar space today. So I think I'm just like burning money on ads because I think my girls are literally out. I don't even think I have calendar space. Yeah. So we're just calling. I told Tim today, I was like, yo, there's going to be a lot more drop offs today just because we don't have calendar space. So just like manually book from there. But that's how you do it. You just
And
embed the calendar.
and then how do you link the form to GoHighLevel? That's the one that I skipped. Because
I
doing
have
the type form or any of these, it's cool. It's really cool how you set it up, but the one I don't know yet is how to link it up to the pipeline, and that's one of the things that I've been talking to the offer that I'm on. So that's one of the things where I'm talking to these guys of we should do something that's a bit more of an active opt-in, and that was also my question about the emails. Because I'd rather send 2 or 3 emails and one of them gets an active opt-in or something on the prospect end, just because they have a lot of no-shows. And that was my idea that when they actively have to engage with a form or confirm their appointment or do something, it just shows me that this person is more likely to show up or be active on the call.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the easiest thing to do is first things first before you try to sync up the Typeform or before you try to make all the crazy automations, just get it over to Typeform Calendly and then just focus on the people who book calls. Because traditionally, see Valentino, because
You know,
traditionally you're gonna make the majority of the revenue is gonna come from just the people who automatically book calls. So like the easiest, fastest thing you do to fix that now is just sync Typeform Calendly. Just add the Calendly page on the Typeform, and I mean Ed can probably figure that out. He seems like a pretty smart guy, or you
yeah,
can do it, and then
I want to
have
know how
that
to
route
do it.
over
Yeah.
to you, and then just make sure that your GoHighLevel is hooked up to the calendar, and that's it.
But
Like
then
I made a
are you linking the form to GoHighLevel or no? So the form is linked to GoHighLevel and does affect the pipeline or no? It's just the calendar linked to GoHighLevel.
yeah, no, it's just like once they submit the form, like we throw the data into we add the data. So they submit the type form. We add the data to GoHighLevel by creating the contact once the type form is submitted. So like once they go through that partial submit, there will be a segment where we have a make.com automation that's very similar. Where it's like type form submit, create contact, and GoHighLevel. And then when they book, if they end up going through and booking the call, it just updates them as a book call in HighLevel. But like right at that partial submit point, we're capturing that information and pulling it into HighLevel through make.com.
Yeah, so that's the step that I was missing. So you use make to throw in the data from the form into the pipeline or like
Yeah,
into
you just
GoHighLevel.
map it in. You map it, and so
Okay.
you need to go into whatever your type form looks like, or whatever their type form looks like. You need to go down into custom fields, and like for example, whatever the question on the type form is, just make it a field in here, and then when you're in Make or whatever, you can literally just map it. Or I'm sure if you use like Zapier, it would be way easier. I just use Make because I'm a little bit more advanced with automations versus like a traditional sales guy. Like I kind of actually understand how to build shit. So I use Make because it's way cheaper and like it's way cheaper. But Zapier is your best bet because you can literally just have it like Typeform submit, add delete connector. Takes like 2 seconds.
I'll use make.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so if you're the one doing it, then yeah. I didn't know
Yeah.
if it was him or he had an ops guy or whatever.
He has an ops guy, but eventually probably I want to become an ops guy. That's why I'm learning about this.
Higher leverage.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. What did you guys think of that? I know it's probably like Gilsey, you're probably like, I just got in here yesterday, bro. I closed all the you probably don't know what the CRM you're looking at is, but did all that kind of make sense? I try to like make it make sense even for people who maybe haven't even seen high level before.
This stuff makes you money, ladies.
That's the way that you work smarter, not harder, low key. While everybody else is just chasing like new leads, new leads, new leads. Like people that are closest to the money. Yeah, like new leads are super close to the money. I mean, they're coming in right now, but I would almost argue that like people that have already been demoed, know the price, know the product, know everything. They just have like one uncertainty, like one objection. That person is way closer to the money than someone who needs to go through the demo and blah, blah, blah. So if you just focus on how can I take the calls on my calendar, like if you're a closer, if you can just focus on like how can I take the calls on my calendar and follow up, and setters can focus on how can we just convert more of the new leads and hit them faster. Those are the two main KPIs. Setter KPIs is speed to lead. Closer KPIs is cash collected per live call taken. So that doesn't matter. Like if you've taken 10 calls in a month and you followed up with 100 people and you close 50 people, your number is going to seem super inflated there. So that's a cash collected per live call taken is a roll up of your entire sales performance. Because you could take 5 calls in a month and make 20 grand if you're just following up like crazy. You know what I mean? Like you could block your calendar off all month, have 0 calls on the calendar, and then like your cash per live call taken would be like skyrocket. And that's all a high level offer owner really cares about. Like all I care about is I'm going to spend X amount on marketing. I'm going to give this person X amount of priority, X amount of round robin. What is their output due to the amount of opportunities that I give them? If I give Gilsey 30% priority and she matches the person that was on 70% priority, I'm going to give Gilsey more of a priority moving forward because you made more money with less opportunities. So that by default means if I give you more opportunities, you're going to double that. So then next month I would actually switch the priority and turn that over to you. Like that's all I really got. That's all I really got, man. I love this shit.